Hey gang, Carl White here, broadcasting in the communications room here in the secret headquarters of the Mortgage Marketing Animals. You're listening to Loan Officer Freedom, number one podcast in the world today for loan officers. And today's topic is working with your spouse or working with a family member. And so I'm joined here today by the ever so lovely Mrs. White.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So we're going to do just some real quick kind of pros and cons. It never ceases to amaze me on how many people in the mortgage business are working with a spouse,
Mm.
and so I wrote down a. We did an episode last week on work life balance,
Right balance.
and I started thinking, well, part of what makes that work life balance kind of easy, or at least not hard, that we work together.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like we have a boss that's telling us, "Hey, you got to work extra today," or I need you to work this weekend," or something like that. Because we don't. You're my boss, and well, no, I'm your
Oh,
boss. Yeah, yeah.
stop.
But you get the idea. So anyway,
Yeah.
so we thought we'd talk a little bit about the pros and cons of
Yes.
working as a team. So I'm going to go over a couple pros, and then we'll do a couple cons. First of all, so what's before I give you my list of pros? What's some of the things that you found?
Pros?
Yeah,
Well, I say we can see each other throughout the day.
that's a big one.
It is.
Can you imagine? So we've worked together our
Ever
whole
since we had professional
yeah,
jobs.
because like we went to college together. We used to work in the hospital system. We did that together. I got
And
in
we
the
started
mortgage
the market.
business, and we've worked together in the mortgage business literally
Yes.
since day one.
Yeah.
And so for the last what 40 years, I guess. Uh, I know we've worked together like always. We've always worked together.
No, that meant I was only 19. I met you
Well,
though at 18.
yeah, you met, yeah. So it's been 41 years. Yeah, eeks. So yeah, so I just can't imagine.
It's worked out well for us.
It has. It's worked out real well. So I'll give you my list of pros, which is why I think it's worked out so well. Is that first of all, I think it makes it easy for you and I to communicate together,
Right.
and I think that because you know you you know how I talk, you know my mannerism. Like when I talk with you, I don't have to worry about, um, gee, I hope she takes this the right way, or I hope I don't get a call from HR department after the conversation or something. Not that I'd ever be disrespectful, but like I can start a sentence and you can complete it for me almost. We've
Hmm.
been together for so long, and that I don't have to explain things in depth to you because we're together so much.
But I like detail, remember?
You do like detail. So oftentimes,
I want the detail.
yeah, she wants a detail and
Don't just say, oh, good.
oh
No. Why
no,
was it good?
yeah, why was it good? Okay. Yeah, because oftentimes we'll be talking about some, or you'll be telling me a story, and it's like, okay, so if this story ended with a sentence, what would that last sentence sound like? And that is, I don't do that these days. That's what I used to do before I
Oh,
learned. I think another big pro is we have a deep trust of each other, and that as a spouse, that's going to be typical, in that we have each other's best interests in mind because our best interests are
yes.
aligned.
Yes.
Instead of you thinking, well, this set of activities is best for your family, and then this other set of activities is best for my family, is that we're working together because we're one family, and so we have,
Correct.
we have a deep trust, and we
Yeah.
have aligned goals. Like one thing, like you and I are getting ready. We're in the process of looking and buying for a house.
In North Carolina.
Yeah, as a second home, and so we're looking. Hey, how can we be most effective and efficient in our business? What are some things that we're doing, or some costs that we might have that we could cut out, and it had no effect on our business whatsoever. Um, yeah, so we're on the same page on things. Or if hey, we need to raise a quick 200,000 for something, like we work together and come up with how to do that. So I find that aligned goals. Um, I would say the biggest issue, if we look at like the cons, so I'd say the biggest issue that I see husband and wife deal with is when it's time to go home, how do we leave work at
Mm,
work?
right.
And when we're at work, how do we leave home at home? You know, both of those things. Probably leaving home at home isn't an issue. It's bringing work home, and that the only thing you talk about at work is the only thing you talk about at home is work. How have we gotten by that? How has that not been a problem for us?
I think we might talk a little bit, but it just doesn't last long. Like we don't carry it for hours and hours. Just maybe run it by each other one more time, and then then it's okay.
I think it tends to be big vision things that we talk about after hours, as opposed to like the Smith file,
Yeah,
or that it's more big vision. And we
just work it out.
yeah, we really don't talk about work that much on our, and I think part of it is, we enjoy each other's company, and that we're not looking for that distraction for us to get along. That we get along with or without that distraction is irrelevant.
We like each other.
Yeah, I think that I do. I think that helps. I think it helps when you like each other. Um, yeah, I do. Now I'll give you a con though. So one con about working together is that we don't get as many ideas from each other because we're with each other all the time. And I think it's real important, if you work with your spouse, I think it's real important to make sure that you like belong to a group, like a mastermind group, or which I think is important anyway. But I think it's particularly important if you're working with your spouse, because like your knowledge is a little bit incestuous. Like you don't have enough um,
Outside.
influence. Yeah,
Hmm.
you got to have
Hmm.
outside influence, and so you have a very limited perspective, or like you're living in your own little bubble.
Hmm.
And so we definitely spend a large amount of our time talking to the people. In your case, you're talking to the CPAs and the accountants and
Hmm. Hmm.
the bookkeeper and the person that does all
Hmm.
our payroll, and you're learning from them. So
Hmm.
I think it's real big, not just bounce ideas off of each other, but with other people
Right.
too. Um, I think I think another advantage is that when you have a win, I have a win, right? Because if it's good for you, it's good for me, and vice versa. And so I think we have what I would call shared success. Whereas if we had a great month, and I say, hey, we made $200,000 this month, we don't have to worry about somebody going, well, I didn't. How's that affect me? And so I think
We're both happy for each other.
yeah, we're both happy for each other, and it's like, I always look at it like we're playing tug of war, except you and I are on one side of the rope,
Yeah.
and a good side of our team is on our side of the rope too.
Yes.
And it's not that anybody wishes anybody ill harm, but they're a team member is just always more concerned about, as they should, about their
Themselves.
family.
Hmm.
Yeah. And we're concerned about their family for sure, and we do things to help them, because
Build them
they're
up. Right.
yeah. What Yeah, I've always kept in mind the old Dan Marino commercial. I'm dating myself here, but the old Dan Marino commercial where he would give his Dan Marino was a quarterback, right, for
Yes.
the Miami Dolphins, and he would give all of his line, which I've got his jersey signed here
Yes, you did.
in the office over
I got
there.
you that.
Yep, you did give me
I
that.
did.
And but Dan Marino had this thing that every year he bought a pair of dress gloves for his linemen, and his tagline was "Take care of the hands that take care of you." In other words, these linemen are keeping the other team from coming and breaking his
Sure.
kneecaps. So he wants to take care of them. So it's not that we don't take care of our team. It's just, I don't know, it's just with our goals are 100% in alignment, that when you benefit, I benefit.
Hmm.
So
Yes, I would agree.
I would say some people would see this as a con. I saw it as an advantage, is that if we get into a spiff, it cannot carry on to the next day, because our team is counting on us to show up, and our customers are counting on us to show up. And if we've got something going on in our personal life, And sometimes I hear people that have a spiff with their spouse and it goes on for a couple days or a week, or where they're not talking to each other for a week. We can't do that.
Mhm.
And so I've always looked at that as an advantage. And if we've got something that's got us off balance,
Try to nip it in the bud.
before the sun goes down, we got to figure this thing
Yeah.
out. And
And pride is a biggie. We said that, or
yeah, pride's a big one, where I just
you gotta
screw
just let that go.
yeah, screw the pride. Say, honey, I
It's not
screwed
worth it.
up.
It's
Yeah,
not worth
I screwed up. Here's what I did. And so I think the idea of something carrying on over for a couple of days or a week or so, it just can't happen.
it.
And so it's forced us to come to very, very, very fast resolutions. And so I think that's been a
Mm, so
positive.
healthy.
Yeah. And when I finally got you under control and you started seeing things my way, yeah, no, I'm
Then it
just,
all went well.
yeah, I'm just kidding, of course. Um, what else? Oh, here's a big mistake wrong way. Here's a big challenge. Let's say you're the loan officer
Mm,
and I'm the assistant.
mm.
How does that work when we go on vacation? How does that work when, in our case, one of our kids comes to visit for a couple of days, and I want to not work for a couple of days,
Mm.
and you're the loan officer, I'm the assistant, or I'm the loan officer and you're the processor. If we both want to take off, the whole team is gone. That's a problem. And so in our case, I work on sales and marketing.
We have different roles.
You work on bookkeeping in the back end,
Mhm,
accounts receivable and payable.
mhm.
And so when we take a week off, or we go to Europe for a couple of weeks, we do that pretty much every year. That my assistant is still in the office working, right? Your assistant is still in the office working. And so we can take a week or 2 weeks off, and it really has zero effect on our business whatsoever. In fact, sometimes it actually works, it works better when we're gone. I've found
Hmm.
sometimes. Whereas if you're the loan officer and I'm the assistant and we both take time off,
A little more of a challenge.
that's a problem.
Yeah.
And so I think it's real important, if you're working with a spouse, that you have two different roles, or let's say we're both loan officers and we leave, who's left back at the farm to act as a sales position.
Right.
And you don't want to work on vacation. That's no
No,
good.
you want your sales to keep coming in if somebody's calling,
Yeah.
you
So,
don't want to lose it.
yeah, so I think it works best if if you're both mission critical, but not mission critical today. In other words, we can take, like, what we do matters, and it's critical to the mission, but not today or not tomorrow. Like, I can take a week off or 2 weeks off, and my assistants are still in place to make things, make sure loans are still
Keep
coming in.
flowing.
Yeah, make sure things are keep flowing. So I think that's a big one. It's more of a challenge. Now we've got some. I'm thinking of the um, like the Prosts, uh, that we've been working with them for quite some time, and and they're a married couple, and it seems to work out well. But um,
You have assistants in place to assist
yeah,
them.
yeah, because they told me that when they take time off, they're able to unplug and
Good,
and take
good.
time off. And
You can
uh,
work it out. You just got to put those people in place and trust them. Again, the trust issue. You get a
yeah,
good person to
yeah.
trust and follow through.
Any anything about it you think, like, boy, I wish I'd have known this early on? Like, anything you do different? Like, if you could go back and talk to yourself, um, 20 years ago, say when we got in the mortgage business, I think like 23 years ago, 24 years ago. Is there anything you'd go and tell yourself, as far as like working with a spouse? Or do you think, like, have we
No, I
screwed up
think it would
anywhere?
have been an advantage. Like, God was saying, I'm gonna make things easy for you.
Yeah.
Help you in your relationship, help you in your
Yeah.
your professional relationship, just everything. I think it's worked out beautiful for our situation.
Yeah, I would say that too. And especially because we're so different as
Yeah,
people, different skill sets,
exactly.
that
It complements each other.
yeah, the areas that I would have floundered on, you
Hmm.
excelled at.
And I couldn't do what you
Well, or
do.
but or
No,
you
yeah, no.
yeah, I hear you. I hear you. but it's yeah, I think so if you're thinking of working, hey, let's talk about one more thing just for a second. How about working with your kids?
That can be a little more challenging too.
So I can see where that would be a positive, like you see, the like the we have a big attorney around here. I think it's pretty much nationwide, Morgan
Right.
and Morgan
Morgan.
and Morgan, yeah. Where it's they, I think the grandkids are actually attorneys at this point, and
And that's great because that's their drive probably. So you definitely have to make sure, like we were saying, your children, the child, your kid that's in your business has the same passion and desire you have
they're
for
not
that
doing it
business.
because mommy wants them to or daddy wants them to. They're
Right.
doing it because they want to do it.
Yes. So they want to learn. So they'll
Mhm.
they'll listen to you, they'll take your criticism. But if it's not that goal for them, yeah, that's
Let
why not.
let them do what they want to do. Yeah, we found
Don't
that.
push them.
Yeah, in our case, they
Our
worked with
kids,
us. Yeah,
right?
when like they were in middle school and high school, and I found I'd rather be their daddy than their boss.
Mhm.
And so if I'd go correct them or show them a way to do it even better,
Yeah, it was
it
more your
yeah, like I'm being their boss, not their daddy. And so
so
yeah,
you're
so
rejecting them. You're not you're putting them down, and it's not like
yeah,
you're trying to do it all. You're just trying to
I'm
help
just
them
show them
get
here's a
better in that position.
yeah. So
But it's tough.
yeah, but again,
Yeah.
none of ours were really interested in getting into business.
No.
That they had different skill set. One's a medical doctor, one's an engineer, and one's in sociology, working with families. So they each have their own professional
Yeah.
careers that's different than sales on
Totally.
on my end. So yeah, so they did work with us, and I found just whatever they did was fine, and however they did it was fine. I think in our case, it was better that they hear Daddy say, "Hey, I'm proud of you. Thanks for helping." It's kind of like if they were, you know, I'm not trying to belittle what they did, but like if your 6-year-old is drawing a picture of something, you don't come in and saying, "Hey, if you want to draw a better tree, here's how you do it." You say, "What an awesome picture!
Yes.
Thank you for drawing that for me." So yeah. So for me,
That's our yeah, we it didn't work out as well for our
yeah, and
kids.
not that we had a problem with it. I just could see I'd rather be their daddy than their
Yeah.
boss, and so, but I don't think there's anything wrong.
Oh gosh, if your kids got the passion for it, we
Yeah.
could have loved for them to have,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah, because I look at like I'm a big NASCAR fan, and we see some of these NASCAR legends,
their kids.
where the
Mhm.
like Kyle Petty
Yeah.
was Richard or is Richard Petty's son,
And
and
Dale Jr.
and Dale Jr. But they just have this. They had the drive. They really wanted to do it. I think so. Anyway,
Okay.
I think we kind of covered it here.
Yes, we did.
Anything else?
Nope.
Hey, so if you're working with your spouse, just give respect. Be the husband first. Be the wife first, and be the coworker second. Make sure you to put that in the
Balance it out.
priorities.
Mhm.
And respect each other, and know that they got your back, and they know that you got their back, and it works out real good. Hey, just real quick, we got one thing coming up, which is a mastermind event, and this is unlike anything that we've ever done before. And so go check it out at mastermindretreats.com, mastermindretreats.com. I really think you're going to like this one. Again, it's unlike anything we've done in the past. And instead of sitting here telling you about it, if you go to mastermindretreats.com, you'll see what we got planned here. And I think it'll be a really, really, really good use of your time. It's never been better time to be working on your business. The situations that we find ourselves in with everything that's going on, there's some really huge advantages, and learning how to put those advantages to work for you. It's never been more important. Mastermindretreats.com, mastermindretreats.com. So we'll see you in the inside, and we'll see you on the next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Thanks again, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.